Welcome back to the deep dive. You know the mission. We take a pile of recent sources, pull up the crucial bits, and basically give you a shortcut to knowing what's going on. Today, we're looking at CoinMarketCap articles from June 17th, 2025. It's quite a mix. Market moves, some bigger societal stuff.
Okay, let's unpack this. So starting with the crypto market itself, some really, well, eye-catching moves. We saw the AltLayer token, ALT.
Oh, yeah.
Sharp rally today, up 35%.
35.
And that's right before it lists on up at the big South Korean exchange.
The timing is everything there.
Exactly. And then there's Chainlink, LINK, also getting attention, moved up, nearly 3%?
Around 2.93%.
Pushing it to about $13.69.
Yeah.
And analysts are apparently already looking towards $32, $38.
Yeah, that's the target range some are putting out there.
So what do moves like these really signal? Especially, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, what's fascinating here is how these individual rallies, like AltLayer's jump before the upbit listing, they act almost like little barometers for how investors are feeling overall. So less fear, maybe, more looking for growth.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
suggests a shift away from just playing it safe, risk aversion, towards maybe having an appetite for growth again. And it's not just the percentage gains. Analysts are looking at the charts, seeing things like golden cross patterns form.
Ah, the technical signal.
Right, signals that could point to a potential bullish phase. And it's not just small investors. Look at the institutions.
Like Metaplanet.
Precisely. They just increased their Bitcoin stash to 10,000 BTC. That came after buying another 1,112 BTC for, what was it, $117 million?
The $117 million. Wow.
And get this, they issued $210 million in bonds, specifically to keep buying more Bitcoin.
Wait, they issued bonds to buy Bitcoin?
Yeah, using traditional finance tools to load up on crypto.
That's more than just confidence. That's making it a core strategy, like a treasury asset.
It certainly signals that some big players see it that way, not just speculation anymore.
Okay, so that's the market and institutional side. But shifting gears a bit, there was also a pretty important discussion around, well, policy and society this week. Senator Warren flagged the Genius Act. Now, that's supposed to foster innovation in digital assets, right?
That's the intention, yes.
But she warned it could, potentially, let tech billionaires create stablecoins that track how people spend their money. That sounds concerning.
It is. And this raises an important question, doesn't it? It's really about the future of money in a digital world. If these stablecoins, even if they're pitched as innovation, allow for really detailed tracking of every single transaction, well, that gives a huge amount of power to whoever issues them, or potentially governments.
Blurring the lines between finance and surveillance.
Right. How do you push for innovation, which is important, but also protect individual privacy and data security? That's the balancing act.
A difficult one. Is there even a perfect middle ground there?
That's the inherent tension, I think, is something we can keep grappling with.
Yeah, makes sense. But it's not all just finance and policy debates, right? Blockchain is showing up in some unexpected places, too, like Viberate, using blockchain for music analytics for millions of artists. That sounds pretty novel.
It's a great example. It shows the tech's versatility beyond just currency, using it for things like deeper analytics, understanding fan reactions in music.
So data transparency for artists, maybe, owning their data.
Potentially, yeah. Revolutionizing how creators can use and own their information. And speaking of real-world connections, here's where it gets really interesting. We even saw platforms like Polymarket. These are decentralized prediction markets where you bet on real events with crypto.
Right, I've heard of those.
Well, bets on whether the U.S. would strike Iran surged to like 67% at one point, then dropped back down.
Whoa. So reflecting geopolitical tensions almost in real time.
Exactly. It shows how quickly these crypto-adjacent platforms can react to and sort of mirror global events.
Yeah.
It really highlights how interconnected this whole space is becoming with everything else.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Market rallies, big institutional buys, serious privacy questions with stablecoins, cool new uses in music, even geopolitical betting. So what does this all mean for you listening?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it just hammers home how incredibly dynamic this crypto space is. It's not just one thing. It's changing fast, not just in price, but how it bumps up against policy, privacy, and how it's actually being used in different industries. And understanding all these different facets, that's where the real value is. It's complex.
It really is a complex picture. You've got the tech innovation, the regulatory hurdles, the real-world applications all weaving together. So maybe the question to leave you with is, Which of these threads feels most important or most interesting for you to follow next? What part of this evolving puzzle are you going to dig into?